Hi, it's Andrea from Walks as Well, Andrea, and today I wanted to talk a little bit more about how to set up your day to move every 30 minutes and how I set up my day to move every 30 minutes. So, there are certain things I'm doing throughout my day to make that happen. So, the first thing is when I work from home, I work downstairs, and our kitchen, living room, and the bedrooms are upstairs. And so I purposefully bring down very small amounts of water, coffee, tea, whatever I drink, the smallest cups I can find, so that I have to go back upstairs to fill them up. And I drink a lot of water throughout the day, so I probably get up every 30 minutes just to fill up my water cup. And that is actually a great way to do it. And I've also started to sit more on the floor. I sit on the floor a lot to watch TV, to fold laundry, to do things like that. But I started to sit more on the floor to do computer work, and I have just made myself a makeshift desk that is the correct height with a very specific box that is the correct height. And that does a couple things. First of all, I do move around more when I sit on the floor. It's just more movement than if I sit at my desk. It adds the movement of getting up and down from the floor, which is great. And so, I'm just more likely to get up and down if I sit on the floor. So I do this a lot when I know that I will work on a project that would lead me to sit for hours on end if I sat at my desk. There are certain projects where, I will sit 3-4 hours if I don't set my timer. But if I do the same project on the floor, I will remember to get up, even if I don't set a timer. So I have been doing that. I also really make a much more conscious effort these days to do as much of my housework by hand, and just to sort of make it a little bit more difficult instead of making it easier. So I don't really use my Roomba all that much anymore. I use a shovel and dust pan to sort of sweep my whole floor. I love squatting down, walking in the squat all over my house because I really know how good that is for my body and for my mobility and flexibility and everything, actually. And I, have set up my kitchen in a way that I reach for things and put things purposefully in sort of the higher cupboards and the lower cupboards and the back of the cupboards and things like that. And, it really adds up. And when I don't work from home, when I am at work, I also find really as many ways as I can to, move around and walk around. So I go to the bathroom furthest away or in a different building. I go the long way to get my mail. It should take 2 minutes. I make a 10-minute walk out of it. And it really, it's not a waste of time. And I think, it's really essential also to, the mindset is so big in this, right? I used to be someone who always, wanted to save time and maximize time, and I still do. But I now see really the value of sort of the 2-for-1 that you get if you build all that movement into your day, because you're not only accomplishing whatever task you're accomplishing, but you're also getting the movement. And then if you move throughout the day, it really affects your ability to concentrate and think in a really positive way, right? Rather than if you just sit for hours on end and you feel better physically. So then the other thing I do is I go for a lot of brainstorming walks. And I got this idea years ago from a study at Stanford. And in that study, they basically had 3 groups. The groups had to complete a task that basically measured how creative they were. And the first group was sitting. They both did this task twice, and the first group was sitting twice. The second group first walked on a treadmill and then sat, and the third group first sat and then walked. And the least creative group was the sitting group. No surprise there. The second most creative group was the group that first walked, and then they had a residual effect when they sat. So the walking made them more creative or spilled over even when they were then solving the task sitting. So, I think that's a really great point. And I think anecdotally, and if we think about it, we know that, just sitting, staring at a piece of paper doesn't usually help us be creative, right? And it's so beneficial when we go out for a walk. That Stanford study also had a great suggestion, which is to record your thoughts or your ideas on a phone when you are out, so you don't have to write anything down. And then these days it is so easy to have these notes transcribed and then summarize and bullet points and everything, so you can be very efficient with that. But that is really something I do a lot, and I plan my day and my week around that I have regular times where I will spend time brainstorming and going for walks, and I plan it around the weather and all sorts of other things as well. I also have a colleague that I collaborate with regularly, and at least once a month we go on a brainstorming hike together, and we do the same thing. We record our ideas. We have figured out what hike to go on. It can't be too steep, it can't be too dangerous, because we don't want to get injured. So, I think you have to be a little bit careful there, but if it's sort of a easy or slightly moderate hike, I think it's okay. All right, other things. I think, again, it comes back to mindset. I think really one of the things that helped me the most in moving as much throughout the day, other than formal exercise, is really the mindset of, nothing is wasted. Everything adds up. And I am going to feel better if I move. And so I think that is really the biggest change for me personally, because I really did think in the past, this is not really going to make a difference if I sit on the floor now and get up or do something else, and it's just not true. Everything really adds up, and it makes a difference in your body. And I can honestly say that I feel much better today in my 50s than I did in my 30s and my 40s. And I really, my exercise has not changed that much. I still work out about the same amount, about anywhere between 30 and 60 minutes, 5 to 6 times a week. That hasn't changed. But what really has changed drastically is how I approach the rest of my day. And the rest of my day is really, that's many, many, many hours, right? And so I encourage you to look at your day. I encourage you to look at and think, where can you add movement? And try it out. And you don't have to be perfect. If it's not every 30 minutes, that's okay. Just little by little, add as much movement to your day as you can. See how you feel. I hope you're having a great day and keep moving throughout every day.